Hello, one and all. I know because I've been uploading for a couple of weeks. I kind of got back down to uploading one at a time, one episode per week if I have been uploading. The reason being, and I probably said this in another video or so, I was called to slow down the healing. Not necessarily because I was doing it a wrong way or because I was doing it bad or wrong or it's bad for me. No, no. I've been told to kind of shift my position from healing because I was, well, had a different perspective about it. I guess, again, nothing's innately wrong or good or bad, but I don't like using this word, but it wasn't exactly the right perspective of healing. So, just what I mean was, I was doing it from a position of I'm broken. I watch other YouTubers, I watch other tarot guides, other tarot people that come into my contact, and I've deciphered, what's good, what's bad for me, or what vibes with me. Because, of course, a lot of tarot readers just want energy. There's one that I was watching. Basically, the way I put it is if they feed your ego, it's not probably good for you. But if their messages feed your soul, that's the one I typically watch. So I filter through, and there's a couple of main readers I watch on YouTube. And one of them literally slapped me in the face, and that's why I like watching those ones, is because it's your soul, not your ego. You're like, yo, dude, chill on the healing. Because you're doing it from a spot of, I'm broken, I have to fix myself. And of course, the universe is like, okay, you say you're broken, so I guess you're broken, here's some stuff to fix. But the guide, the YouTuber, Spirit Gut channel, because I'm also getting some, I wouldn't necessarily call them downloads, my intuition. And I know I'm going to sound absolutely crazy. My intuition replies to me and says, hey, this is why. So it's coming from a spot of not being good enough. Like some of my guides are saying, hey, your life's going to get better, your life's going to be awesome. And honestly, I was getting frustrated for a while because it's like, well, I've been hearing these messages for a long time, Like, what's going on? And then some of the messages also said, well, there are certain things like bad old habits or old stories that I had to let go that just weren't going to come with me. So again, I was actually freaking out like, all right, let's heal, let's let go, let's move on, get past this so I can experience this new life cuz I was sick of my old one. I've literally been told I've got one foot out the door kind of thing. One foot in my old life, one foot in my new life. So I was being told to heal and guide and do, I guess, better. But at the same time, it was from a perspective of, well, I'm not going to get what I want if I don't do it because I'm not good enough. And unfortunately, that is not really where I should be at. I am whole, I am complete, I am good enough. Yes, there are things I'd like to change and let go of, but I've been trying to rush it and force it more or less. And that's essentially boils down to a mindset of lack. Because I don't feel like I have this new life, I'm lacking, so I must fix myself. When inherently there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with me. Yes, again, there are things I'd like to change. That doesn't make me a bad person, doesn't make anything wrong with me. Same thing with you. So I've stopped doing as many videos seeking to heal and fix myself in the same sense. I'm still doing healing, because I still acknowledge there are still things I'd like to let go and change. But I'm not doing it from the same perspective anymore, the same paradigm. I'm doing it from a, hey, look at that. That just popped up. Where'd that come from? Instead of looking for something to heal, I'm letting it come to me. Kind of like how we should handle most of life. Because, for instance, I've been trying to control again lately. I've been trying to find a second job. Because honestly, life has been kicking my butt. I stopped going outside for walks because I got poison ivy. There's a small patch of poison ivy on my leg that's healing. Um, I had some bills pop up that freaked me out, and kind of shifting my mind into lack and stuff like that. And I'm freaking out a little bit. So of course I'm becoming more controlling and desperate. Like, hey, I have to fix this. I have to control this because I'm not whole. I'm not complete. But now it's shifted to okay, well, now I'm trying to rest. Now I'm trying to relax, and I understand I'm whole and complete, and I'm fine. But if something is to show itself, I will heal and take care of it. Because again, there are still old stories and old perspectives that I should let go. Not that it's going to stop me from moving forward necessarily, but it's just better. For instance, one of the mindsets I'm still stuck at that I'm trying to let go of is I constantly feel like I'm under attack. I know I said this in another video, but whether it's from a past life or not, in this current life, typical being bullied, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Always felt like I was singled out, always felt like I was under fire. Like, here's a story from my past. I lived in the colony. Well, I don't live there anymore, so. Plus, I don't even know if you guys are watching. Anyways, I don't care. I don't care I said that. I used to live in the city, and I lived there for about 5 or 6 years, and I graduated high school there. And in high school is where I more or less really started my awakening, or whatever. Because I was not a great person. I wasn't a bad person, just wasn't a person I necessarily liked. And it actually stopped, and that's when I really developed the inner eye. I took the inner eye, and I turned it towards myself. I'm like, people really don't like me at school. Why is that? Is it something I did, or is it something they did? And that's when I really started the conversations with myself. And I slowly grew and gained process of, well, it's both, technically. It's stuff they did and stuff I did. Because it's like that whole compare and contrast. Say, here's a good story my old pastor used to tell me. His wife, this wife, not his wife, a wife went up to a counselor and was saying, hey, I'm having a rocky hard time with my marriage. Blah, 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 blah. He does all these things that upset me. So the counselor goes, okay, write a list of all the things, like, recently he did that upset you. She goes, okay. Or all the bad things she perceives of him. She goes, okay, and wrote down a whole list. And she says, oh, I bet you're going to ask me to write down all the good things about him. He's like, no. Write how you reacted to them. He's like, what? It's like, well, how did you react? Say, for instance, he left you a mess. How did you react? And it actually got her thinking. She's like, well, I guess, like, I yelled at him. Instead of talking and communicating to him, I yelled at him. Got mad and frustrated and just yelled. And he's like, alright, there you go. So she wrote down right next to that list the other list. And stopped and thought about it and goes, okay. Got the gears turning in your head. So I did the same thing. It's like, okay, well, people are going to like me no matter what. But are there things that I don't like about myself? Things I could change? So basically, am I giving them a reason to not like me? Or is it just them? Like I said, I came to the answer it was both. I was doing things that could be perceived as assholey. And then at the same time, there's just unfair prejudice. That's how the world works. So, but mainly it jumbles back to my stepmom. I lived in a family where I was actually under constant attack. I was always the middle child. I had an older sister and a younger sister. And for those in a similar dynamic, it doesn't have to be male or female. I always felt like the older sibling was the best, the smartest, the most outgoing. I was always in her shadow. But then you have the younger sibling who ends up being the baby, the daddy's girl. The All right, I'm gonna be a little honest. It is a little worse because they were females. Maybe if it was a male, it would have been different. But I had a younger sister who was the baby and always daddy's little girl. So I was that middle child, and I was a male. I got singled out. I always felt like I was singled out. Always. And especially when my dad remarried. He only married twice. But the second one was enough. First one was My real mom, she's gotten better with age. But when my dad remarried, he remarried a narcissistic. Well, I'm not going to go into negative details. I'm not going to sling mud. Basically, a very controlling narcissist. And her kids never did anything wrong. For instance, here's another story. I parked. I went and picked up my sister from work or something, my younger sister. And now we're like 20-something, right? Everyone's adults, technically. And her older son is about 25 at the time. I'm 21, something like that. And I go to pick up my sister, and there was no one parked in front of the house. Well, all of a sudden, I get called outside a couple hours later, or I get talked to. Why'd you hit Jared's car? It's like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Well, Jared was parked at the house, and you ran up and hit his car. I was like, no, I didn't. Yes, you did. There's a giant scratch on his car. It's like, yo, I didn't. There was no one there when I pulled in. Asked Sarah, she was in the car. They asked her, and she said no. There was nobody pulled up there. Adam hit nobody. Well, they confronted him again. He goes, oh, well, maybe I got a little close with my backup camera. I was testing out my new backup camera. And they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. So scenarios like that were quite common. So yes, I always felt like I was under attack. I was always being bullied. I was being singled out because I was. The truth of the matter was, I was. I was the, and I don't like this term anymore, but black sheep of the family. Again, my little sister, even if she did something they didn't like, they couldn't do anything about it. The other two kids never did anything wrong. I was always the one getting picked on. Well, even at the age I'm at, 31, I still get that mentality. I still have that ego part of me being like, hey, they're trying to get you fired. Hey, they're trying to get you in trouble. Hey, they're picking on you. They're calling you out, la da 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 da. But it's to an extreme of like, oh, the neighbor hit the ceiling. I have an upstairs neighbor. Oh, they're smacking floors. They're making noise just to piss you off. And then the rational brain kicks in and it's like, wait a minute, you don't know that. Calm your tits. Stuff like that. Like, for instance, recently at work, I talked to a dude about a way I was doing stuff at work. And I was like, I always did it this way. And I told him about it. And I said I continue to do it this way because I feel like this new way is kind of silly. Well, a few days later, excuse me, I get I gotta wonder if my throat chakra's opening. Got a little gunk in my trunk, a frog in my throat, and I've had one for a while. But a couple of days later in the group chat, I felt like I got called out. Hey, so they didn't say names, but they're like, hey, we get in trouble if we don't do this the right way. Do it the right way. And I was like, mother, son of a bitch. In my head, I concocted this story of he went and told his manager. This is also why I stopped doing these videos. I don't know what it is, but it's pissing me off. So I concocted this story. He went back and told his manager at his store, so-and-so's doing it wrong at that store, or that's how he does it. That manager went and told the owner, or the higher-ups, and then they had to address it to everyone because they caught me doing it. And I was like, that mother effer. Well, but he can't be trusted. F that guy, blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, I work with him every day. And I was just, I deemed it in my head, he's not trustworthy. I can't talk to him. Fuck him. I'm not going to talk to him anymore. But then the rational mind kicked in and said, wait, what if he didn't do it on purpose? What if he genuinely was trying to, he didn't mean to call you out. He just accidentally let it slip or something. Oh, hey, is it okay if we do it this way? And then he got in trouble or something, and then the manager brought it to their attention, blah, 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 blah. It's like, take it a step further. What if the manager was actually watching me on the cameras? Because I know they say they have jobs and stuff to do, but they're watching the cameras all the time. Like, very busybody-ish. They talk about not wanting to be in the store, because they don't want to have to be very hands-on, but they're very into watching their cameras. And you know what? That's fair. They have... God damn it. They have had people F them over, steal from their store, so on and so forth. So they're very protective. Oh god, my hand. It's alright, something fell off my desk and I'm trying to pick it back up. So they're very, picky. And they're really into watching their cameras and making sure people don't F with them. I can't blame them for that. I feel like it's micromanaging, but it is what it is. I ain't doing nothing wrong. Well, other than that one thing. I ain't doing nothing wrong. So, I actually talked myself out of it. I'm like, you know what? Even if he did, I don't care. F it. Even if he did call me out, it doesn't matter. Whatever, dude. I don't care. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, it's like, okay. How do I let go of the story of always being under attack? Because for those who don't know, reality is a mirror. It reflects back to you what you believe and what you say. So say, for instance, a good example, if you constantly say, oh, I'm sick or I'm tired, well, then you continuously reimburse that feeling or reinforce the feeling, oh, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I'm always tired. The universe is like, okay. It's not good or bad. It just says, okay, if that's what you believe, then I'm going to keep bringing you things like that. So if I constantly feel like I'm under attack, even in my video games, I play video games where you like team up with teammates, you build up your bases, you attack with units, and whoever destroys each other's base wins first. First wins. Well, I feel like I always get attacked first, no matter who it is, no matter where it is, they always somehow find my base first, and I go down. I was like, dude, why? Why do I feel like I'm always getting attacked? Why do I still feel like I'm getting singled out? Even in my video games, it's being reflected back to me. And I was like, bro, I'm so sick of this. Now, how do I change this story? Because I'm the one who's doing it to myself. In reality. Well, the voice in my head goes, well, it's coming from an ego. It's an ego point. Not necessarily a bad thing. Don't get mad at yourself. Relax. But let it go. And this is another video I've watched too. My voice is really upsetting me. It sounds like I just got done smoking even though I haven't. I don't smoke. Sorry about the clicky clicks. I don't know if it's better than the but... So, my intuition and the guides between the two. Like, so because you were in that situation, like I said, as I was a child, I was actually under attack and I had to constantly defend myself. And even though I'm not in a similar situation, I still feel like I have to defend myself. I still feel like I'm being attacked. And I'm not trying to call myself out and be like, oh, that's bad, you're bad, stop doing that. I was told and guided to realize that's a part of myself that's just trying to help. It's trying to protect me. from forces that I believe to be bad, or hurting me, or harming me. But in the long run, that belief system is actually harming me more. So what the video said was to thank yourself. Thank whether it's your inner child or the ego, whatever part of you that believes that belief, you're supposed to thank it. Be like, yo, hey, calm down a little, me. It's okay. It's okay. You don't need to feel like that anymore. I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you trying to protect me. But you're not in danger. You don't have to protect me anymore. It's okay. Let it go. And that's something I actually have been working on. Cause it's been a I see it being reflected on some of the simplest things like getting cut off in traffic. I actually did have this guy. Again, a typical story in traffic. I wasn't having a good day. I reacted negatively. This guy's going slow. Whether or not it's on purpose doesn't matter. But I go around him, and he sees that, instantly sped up. I went like, I hate to admit it, I went 60, 70. And this guy's matching me toe for toe. Well, eventually, we came up to a stoplight, and I'm a little crazy, so he slowed down before I did. I cut him off, and I brake checked him. Calling myself out. But again, that is a response of being attacked, blah, blah, blah. That's part of myself I'm trying to let go. I may have also flipped him off. But after that, scared him enough that he went the other way. Part of me still kind of thinks it's funny. I should let that go. I want to harm people. I want to respond. So that brought forth to me, hey, you still got something to let go. You still gotta, I'm just like, I can't believe I just did that. That's something the old me would do. My bad. Sorry. Clearly, I still feel this way. I'm gonna let that go. Goose fraba. Breathe in, breathe out. I'm like, alright, universe, you've shown me that specific story, because I've asked. I was like, look, what is holding me back? What is... Shut the fuck up. I know you couldn't hear that, but my phone just went off. Oh, and it's the weather. Telling me it's gonna be hot. That's cool. So I'm like, alright, reveal to me, these stories that I should let go. And that was one of those scenarios. I go, oh. Well, duh. Okay. The rest of the day, I decided to actually go home, take a break, because I was door dashing. I was out doing deliveries. I was like, I'm gonna go take my butt home, eat some food, calm the F down, and then I'll continue my journey. The rest of the journey was fine. No problems. Long story short, I haven't even pulled a card. What should I focus on to help let go of these stories? Sometimes reprogramming your brain is a little more difficult than you think, or it's as difficult as you say it is. I've been letting go of these stories and working on it, getting it out. Not gonna happen overnight. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I would like to know, spirits, oracle, what can I focus on, or what should I do to help let go of the rest of these stories? And I know I've seen that card twice. There was actually a card that said let go. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Show me how to let go. Part of it, again, was just healing that part of you that says that the belief, that holds that belief. But let's see what the cards say. Rising. Well, that's not... How does that work? I've gotten this card many times. I'm not necessarily getting anything a download either, so... I guess it's just rising above your stories. Yeah. Rising above these beliefs, these findings, the structured system Because that's what I'm doing with this new perspective of the intuition. Intuition versus ego. Not necessarily a fight, but you have to put it that way. Rising above and getting those 5D, I guess, or a bird's eye view perspective. Because me, I'm like, oh, that guy is trying to harm me. But then you kind of look above the story and you're like, maybe that's not the case. Maybe the guy's having a bad day. Because in response, it's fear out of fear. Oh, he's afraid that I was going to cut him off. I was going to hit him. Who knows? Whatever. So I'm just like, okay. Think of it that way. Rise above the story, rise above the situation, rise above the moment. And not constantly residing in the ego. Gotta let stuff go. And I constantly ask, well, how do you let stuff go? If it was that simple, I would have done it. But again, it's digging up the roots and trying to figure out, not trying, just digging up the roots and figuring out where that story came from. Again, that's what came to my knowledge was my memories. Memories of me being attacked and why I felt like that. Why I felt like I was being attacked. And it's like, well, because you were. For a very long time, you were. And it's like, oh. But then now with this, again, new intuition and new perspective, you can realize you don't have to be like that anymore. And then I got dissolution on the bottom. Oops. So you're dissolving these stories. I really don't know what else to say. I'm just kind of looping myself in circles here. I'm also sweating. It's a little warm. I don't use my AC. I just haven't played with my cards in a while, so I figured I'd get them out, touch them, feel them, rub them on my belly, because that's where I shuffle. Dirty minds. I haven't played with my cards in a while, and I feel a little disconnected from them, so I'm going to try to do more videos here and there. I actually started a journal that has been helping me work through my thoughts and process and stuff like that. Of actually my journey, of what's been going on, and the way I think, and that's also because I was guided to do it. You don't have to do everything you're guided to. You do what resonates with you. If you feel like doing it, you feel like doing it. But when I started writing this journal, it actually started forming words, actual sentences that make sense. Like, it's not just random scribbles. Some of it is. But it's actually been a continuous flow. One of those things, I'm getting into the flow state, and things are coming out that are quite useful. About these inner thoughts that I've been thinking. Instead of just letting them think. Somehow writing them down actually helps you work through it a little bit more. And that's what I've been trying to do. So at some point, I will actually just start reading the journal instead of doing readings, tarot readings. I'm also thinking about getting a new deck just for fun. Like I said, I haven't really been doing anything with them. I actually started a Vibe of the Day segment, and I just did that twice and stopped. Consistency's been a pain. Like I said, I'm struggling to keep consistent. Life's been kicking my butt. However, I think I'm done rambling. Is that it, Spirit? Is that it, brain? Intuition? Anything else you want to say? There's nothing wrong with you. Even if the world makes you feel like there is. It's all just defense mechanisms that you've spawned or believed because of the situations you've been in. But there's nothing wrong with you. Even if you act out of fear, it's okay. Because I do that too. And then I beat myself up. Oh, why'd you do that? You shouldn't be doing that anymore. That's not you anymore. That's the old you. Why'd you respond that way? It's like, no. Give yourself a break. That is something I'm told all the time. Be easy on yourself. Don't let it get to you, but don't overlook it. It's like, okay, yes, this did happen. Look at it at a neutral perspective. Yes, this happened. Was it an outcome you wanted? No. People could have got hurt. Blah, blah, blah. So don't judge yourself for it, for acting that way. If you're truly upset about it, just change it. But don't feel like there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, I guess that's it. I'm gonna go lay down and watch some TV. I've also been resting. That's been another reason why, like I said, I haven't really gone out that much. I don't go do anything right now, just because I've been leading to resting. Still got some more resting to do. I say that begrudgingly. Have a great night.